Hey, how's it going? So I want to talk about this new Harry Potter series that everybody seems to be upset over. That Professor Snape, this brother, this black guy, this brother. I just call just call him brother. I forgot his name, Azidio Papa or something like that. Some brother that's gonna play the role of Professor Snape. You know what I think? If I knew him personally, you know what I'd tell him? Run, run. You don't need that crap. Get out of here. I tell him, so dude, unless they're writing you a big paycheck, I would not even touch that. Because ever since I've seen that they casted him, the YouTubers, of course, YouTubers make money off of hate speeching, and a lot of people's upset, I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I really am. My thing about that is, why would you do that in the first place? You knew that was, and I'm a black man. Now, black people can say, Vic, what's wrong with it? I don't see nothing wrong with it. Don't you want to see? They could just change it up. There's nothing wrong with that. I get that, and I understand that. But then you got the other side. I can't believe they're waste swapping, man, and inclusivity and all that stuff and whatever they're trying to shoehorn in all these movies and stuff. I get that, too. I would have left that alone. You know why I would have left that alone? Let me ask you a question. Now, I'm going to shoot this out here because this is my theory, okay? Now, I know y'all watch Harry Potter just like I watch Harry Potter, right? So, I bought Hogwarts Legacy. It was huge. It made $1 billion in sales, right? So, if it made $1 billion in sales, how come Max couldn't make a Hogwarts Legacy series? If it was so well, they could have did something totally new. Because if you remember playing that game was like a couple of 100 years before Harry Potter came about. You had a lot of maybe 100 years. So you probably is going to meet people who was probably were Harry Potter bloodline when it came through. You could have done all that. But yet, you had to do this. And yet, you got the internet all in the uproar. You got all the YouTubers making a big deal out of it, and some YouTubers are cool with it. And you got some YouTubers, they're just, they're hating on it. If I knew this brother, I'm not going to lie, you guys, if I knew that brother, I would sit him down. I said, look, man, I wouldn't even come close to that thing, man. I wouldn't even touch it. Because let's just say hypothetically that he falls in love with a white woman, and the white woman left him for his, I'm just going to be real, y'all. She don't want him, but she wants Harry Potter's dad, and and let's just say they do make Harry. I don't think they're gonna make him black, so they're gonna. His parents is white, so we know that Professor Snape was bullied by Harry Potter's dad, and now you're gonna use that as a racial thing in there. Ooh, come on, y'all. You're much smarter than this. You're much smarter than I'm thinking about all this. I'm thinking about all this while I'm in my truck. I'm sitting there. Come on, you guys, man. They're playing you. They're playing you. They are playing all y'all, man. Because when it's over and said and done with, then why didn't they just do it? Hogwarts Legacy? It would have been much more simpler. It would have been much more simpler. They just said they could. What happened to trailers when they used to go Hogwarts Legacy coming soon? They don't do that. They have to start dipping their toe and stuff unless they're trying to see how people react. But if I was that brother, I'm not going to lie. I tell that brother to run. I said, unless they're going to make you a big, super fat check, man, if you want to deal with all that, I wouldn't even want to have no. The reason why I'm saying this, because if I was a producer, like a mega producer, like somebody that produces movies like a Steven Spielberg or something like that, or all these big name people, Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, the guy that made Lord of the Rings and all that. And there's more of them out there. These are just names off the top of the names that are off the top of my list. Where am I going with this? If somebody was to say, hey man, would you like to make a new Star Wars? A lot of people's like, man, I ain't even touching Star Wars, dude. Are you out your mind? I ain't touching Star Wars, dude. It's just too toxic. No matter what we do in that, nobody's going to be happy. Unless it's somebody that really wants to go back to, maybe the best one was Empire Strikes Back. I love the first one too, but the Empire Strikes Back, that movie hit on all cylinders. If for some only person I could see doing a Star Wars is James Cameron. But anyway, I'm using that as an example. I'm using this brother as an example, like, run, man, run. Unless they're offering him a fat check, unless they're telling him that there's going to be a guaranteed 4 or 5 seasons, I wouldn't even touch it, man. I wouldn't even want that, man. I mean, the internet is on fire now since they announced that there was going to be a black guy playing Professor Snape, or Snape. And I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. And so I'm saying this to help him out. I would run. I would run. Now, on the other hand, you got some people on the other spectrum saying, well, I'll just do it anyway, just to prove a point. And sure, you can. You absolutely can. I understand. If you want to sit there and go through all that, fine. Because Max, which used to be HBO Max does do quality stuff. I was excited when I heard that they was going to make a Harry Potter series. But how come they can't make a Hogwarts Legacy series? And I'm almost done here. You probably don't remember this. But Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, when Hermione was in class and she asked her school teacher, she says, what's the Chamber of Secrets and all that and blah, 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 blah. And you remember Malfoy kept calling them mudbloods. That means they're not purebloods, right? Take a little history lesson here. You should know about this. Anyway, so I remember watching that, and I'm sitting in theater, and I was like, my kids actually growed up. My kids are the same age as that cast. So I'm sitting there listening to that. So I got the Harry Potter box set. So that Chamber of Secrets, I sit there and go, and she goes, well, the original name was Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, and Slytherin. And then she says 2 of them was okay, and 1 of them or 2 of them weren't. And then Hermione, and then Ron Weasley said, imagine who that is. Because they wanted Hogwarts to be just pure-blooded people. They didn't want them to be mudbloods, half-blood, or anything like that. And it always caused the friction. So you couldn't do a story about that? You couldn't do a story about the original people who had Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, and Slytherin? You couldn't do a story about that? You could write a story. See, this is where people just don't try anymore. You didn't have to make that budget big. You could just say, we just want to do a series, get with J.K. Rowling, say, hey, J.K. Rowling, we would like to do a story about Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and Gryffindor. And then say, we need your ideas because it belongs to her. And she's like, really? So, yeah. You know, there was a part in that story where you said that and you could have done a story with them, but at the same time, you could have did a cast with the main people, or those names I just said, and then have young students in there and coordinate the young students in there and maybe throw some names out there where you'd be like, oh man, I know where Harry Potter's come from. I know where, or whatever. It could be, man, there's so much you could have done with that, but nope. You just had to go do this. Now, am I saying this might not be a good show? Probably not. I don't think it's going to be a bad show. I'm interested in it. But if I had a chance to talk to that brother, I would tell him to run. I said, man, I wouldn't even touch that. I wouldn't even want to be around all that toxicity. Period. If you was announced today that you decided to decline that, to turn down that road, then it would turn down them YouTubers. Them YouTubers like, oh, I thought so. He got too much pressure. The pressure got on him and all that. I mean, there's just YouTubers out there just like, rawr, rawr, just hateful, man. It's all get out. Damn, man. It's like, what the hell? But like I said, they got subscriber base. Even the ones that don't do that, they got a subscriber base. Oh, I think this is a brilliant idea and blah, 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 blah. So you got all different sides of the big YouTubers and the people that has over 100,000 subscribers. You going to get traction, not this channel. All I'm telling you is, I'm telling you what I would have done. I could have squashed all that. I guarantee you wouldn't be no problem if they'd have said, we made $1 billion. Okay, let me just stop right here. Warner Brothers made, I think it was Warner Brothers made a game. That was their first game. whoever made that Hogwarts Legacy. My son stayed with me. My 29-year-old son stayed with me for a couple weeks since he had some stuff going on. So he stayed with me for a little bit. And I said, hey man, you can play the Steam Deck. He said, what's a Steam Deck? He said he never heard of it. He said, Dad, this Steam Deck, this is a Steam Deck? He said, I never heard of it. Here, our 29-year-old son didn't know nothing about Steam Deck. But anyway, he played Steam Deck and said Hogwarts Legacy on it. He fell in love with it. My 29-year-old son fell in love with Steam Deck. He never heard of it. He also fell in love with Hogwarts Legacy. And yet, they decided to opt out and to make a whole new Harry Potter thing. When you could have announce, since the game did so good, we can introduce a whole new cast, I guarantee you, if that same black guy was in Hogwarts Legacy, nothing would have been said. You see where I'm going here with this? I can't go in the house anymore and try to upload a video. I don't get that many views anyway. So, no big, I don't get paid for these videos anyway because I got a job, I enjoy my YouTube channel, but I'm not going to sit there and start, I lost subscribers. I can't figure out what to do. But anyway, I was sitting there going, this random thought, how you all be thinking at work and you just thinking stuff. I was like, hey man, they could have did a Hogwarts Legacy series and they would have just been fine. They just said this the cast for Hogwarts Legacy. Here's the kids that are going to be playing, the students and all that. And just, that thing would have rocked. It would have freaking rocked. Why? Because Hogwarts Legacy, the game, made $1 billion in sale. Also, you know how many times I bought that game? I bought that game 3 times. Yeah, that's how much a big Harry Potter fan I am. As far as that brother, I see him, man. I said, look, brother, man, I can't pronounce your name. He probably tell me how to pronounce it. I said, look, man, run. Run, dude. Run from that role. I wouldn't even touch it. But, my hat's off put to him if he wants to go ahead and do it. That way you can shut those haters down. What would shut those haters down and everybody complaining and whatever? I know some people are cool with it. I don't care either way. But I just looked at this and really, oh boy, this is going to cause a stir. And man, did it. I'll sit there and saying to myself, I'm saying all these things to myself. So I got Hogwarts Legacy. That game is really good. And I bought that game 3 times. I bought it from the Steam Deck, which was cheap. I bought it for my Xbox Series X and I also bought it for the PlayStation 5. So they made a lot of money off me. I said to myself, why would you do another whole revamp of a Harry Potter when we already know the story? Why don't you could have just went back 100 years and just did Hogwarts Legacy. Boy. The times we are living in, man. It's crazy. Makes too much sense, maybe, I guess, Makes too much sense. But some thoughts, man, I just wanted to share with you guys. I just don't get it. You last but not least, in closing, Hogwarts Legacy did so good that they're working on the second game. And I told my son, he said, Dad, this game is good. I said, yeah, because he was fascinated by the Steam Deck. I said, I guess they couldn't put the Quidditch thing in there. So I guess it would have cost too much, or I was telling him, when he was here, I said, or they was trying to get the game out, and I think it would took another 6 months to incorporate the Quidditch matches in there. I said, but man, I bet you $5. He said, yeah, Dad. He said, they'll probably put that Quidditch in there because a lot of people want that Quidditch in there. Can you imagine playing that game, being on that broom, man, and hitting that thing and trying to catch that little thing, man? God, boy, I tell you. But no, you couldn't do that. You just had to do another Harry Potter. I would just leave Harry Potter alone. It's fine right where it's at, man. Let's tell some different stories. One, I would tell stories of, I'd tell 3 stories. One, I would tell about the founders of Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin. I would tell that story if people would be interested. You can make it very interesting by dissecting each cast and making them realize why they didn't want mudbloods, just pure bloods, and develop each one and how that school was developed off those classes, because they separated with the hat. You do remember when they put the hat on there? Ravenclaw, Gryffindor. Okay, you guys, you remember that, right? Okay. Anyway, I want to tell a story about that, and then have young students in there doing their own thing. It could have been big, man. It could have been big. Or, you know, a lot of people's like, well, I don't like what they call those when they go back and tell the story that never was told. Well, I don't like those stories because you already know what's gonna happen. Okay, then why didn't you tell a story of Harry Potter and Lily when they met together and when Harry Potter was born and Voldemort? What pissed Voldemort off so bad? What made him so hateful? And why he do what he did? And why did he split up some of the people and had them? You remember, you know, Harry Potter had somebody that, you know, they didn't think was going to do anything because they ended up being with Voldemort. And then Voldemort was going to kill Harry Potter, but something happened where he put that scar on Harry Potter's forehead. You could tell a story about that. You could tell a story about how Professor Snape was in love with Lily and how Harry was bullying them. And at the same time, because this is where the argument comes in, you could have made a compelling story about all the classes and all the romantic love and all that stuff that was, you know, and the flirts the young people do. I was young, you know, and all that at one time. And so you could have did that. But no. You want to already tackle on something that's already been tackled and just make everybody mad. Maybe this is just some conspiracy thing, man. I'm like Fox Mulder of X-Files. You know, how he talks to Scully, he always thinks outside. But maybe that's what people like to do. Maybe they just like to cause a stir. Maybe they like to cause a stir. I don't know, because I just told you that. I would have told a story. They could do all kinds of things. In closing, they could have told a story about Ravenclaw, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin. Those 4 guys. And made a good story and had young cast going to school and stuff like that. Told that story. Or they could have told a story about how freaking Voldemort came about and what pissed him off so bad to make him do what he did and to lead up to that killing. They could have done that. And how the school got split up and all the teachers turned on each other and all that kind of stuff. When when that big dude that was Harry Potter's kind of like guardian, he said, Harry, he goes, it was a dark time, Harry. It was a dark time. And he told Harry about what happened to his mom and dad and all that. But you guys, I can rant and rave. These things have been on my mind. And the best way I could do it is when I'm in the truck or when I'm thinking about it, I got to unload it. Why? Because if I can go in there and sit in front of the camera and think about it, it doesn't come like I want it to come. But those are the stories you could have sold. Last but not least, I just told you that Hogwarts Legacy 2 is coming out in another year. They're working on it right now. And I bet you they're going to have a Quidditch match in there because I definitely would be into that Quidditch match. Playing a video game on the PS5 Pro or the new, even my Xbox or the new Steam that might coming out. Because, yeah, I'm looking forward to that new Steam Deck. It's coming, you guys. It's coming. I love my Steam Deck. I have no problem with it. But anyway, when that Hogwarts Legacy 2 come out, man, I'm telling you, man, I'm going to be right there because I know they're going to try to do a good job. Especially with putting that Quidditch match in there because they didn't have it in the first Harry Potter. So in closing, last but not least, instead of making the Harry Potter series, after we all love the Harry Potters and we all love the cast of Harry Potter, why didn't you just do a Hogwarts Legacy Hogwarts Legacy Max series? We'll catch you later. God bless. We'll see you next video.